Hmm. Okay, screens are online, so we can just start preview here. Just the sound check preview here. Just the sound check. So the sound check is okay. Seems a bit echoey though. Let's check the sound again. Seems a bit echoey though. Let's check the sound again. It's okay, I guess. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this sounds alright. If I'm facing, if I'm not facing the other side, it's okay. So I'm connected via voice chat, right? I think so. Hi, hello. Yeah, evening, guys. So, like I mentioned, for today's scrim, right, we'd like you guys to think about the switching up the tempo whenever you feel like the team gets an advantage. I did notice that in our last practice session, I think Drew in the quick play games, he was actually pushing the team forward whenever like we get a frag or he feels like the team got an advantage. So it is something that is you have. I mean, I can't really explain it well, but sometimes when you see an enemy use a key cooldown, for example, the Hawk has used up his heal, the Zara used up the bubbles, or maybe uh their Moira has used her fate. So those are something like advantage as well, where you can spark the team to be aggressive and push forward to try and take advantage of that advantage that we have. So just think about the tempo thingy. Like whenever you feel like, oh, we have a chance to win, then just somebody call out in chat just to be aggro and just push forward. Otherwise, you can, if you want to play defensive, yes, you can as well, especially when we are one man down or some of our, like they are using an ultimate, for example, they're using a coalescence and stuff like that. We have to be more defensive. And also, just keep in mind of the possible so-called possible counters, not really counters per se, but what if they are the opponent team plays like Bastion bunker defense or like Bastion pirate ship, what should we do? If they play pharmacy, what should we do? And if they play like traditional dive, like Winston Diva dive, what should we do? So like what heroes do you want to pick to try and counter them? What kind of positioning you guys want to take? What kind of tempo you want to play? These are general things to keep in mind. Because I feel like in a Go SR tournament, these are like Bastion and Pharmacy are quite common. Winston Diva Dive not so common in this SR level, more like in the higher levels, but yeah. Could you rephrase that? I didn't really get that example. Yes, keep pushing, keep pushing. Yes. No, as in, um, okay, do you remember the icon wall map where I played with you guys on the offense, where we keep rolling them? So, especially on payload, what happens is that the mechanics of Overwatch payload maps is that opponents get split spawned. So this is why when you push super aggressively, like I watched the replay from their opponent's main tank perspective, even when they were spawning from the icon wall, inside the icon wall castle, when I was pushing them as the break and the rest of the tanks were following me, they were super split spawn because the main tank and the two DPS players were like there, and then they were like chilling in their own castle. Then suddenly they see like the whole enemy team pushing down on them. So there was no way they could run away. So when you push that aggressively, right, even if they have the best players on their team, there's no win condition because you keep killing them like 5 on 3, 5 on 2, 5 on 3, 5 on 2. So you keep rolling. So that's where you can really get a snowball. That is especially true for payload maps. No, it won't be a spawn. No, it won't be a spawn camp per se because on payload maps, when you win a point, their spawn changes. So you're gonna push. Wherever you see stragglers, you're just gonna push and kill the stragglers, so to make them even split spawn even more. In general, because Miko, you are pretty much a pretty passive tank from what I can see because you probably don't have the like don't have a lot of experience playing DPS, so you can't see, you don't really have a sense of like, oh, this is an advantage, I will get jump on it. Especially like DPS players like Drew and Jamster, because DPS usually when you play damage, you try to get an advantage by picking enemies, right? We get a better sense of like, oh, this is an advantage. It's a good chance to push the advantage. Yeah. Yeah. So when they have 6 and we have 3, then it's time to back off. So I'm saying like on the icon wall attack example is when we have 5 because we're pushing as 5 and we have Drew on the payload pushing but 5, but we are staggering them 5 on 3 because they only have 3 because they were split spawn. So when you see like, oh, they only have 3, we have 5, let's push them, kill the 3 and split some them further and our payload get pushes further. So it is a sense of when we get the advantage. So when we have a disadvantage, pull back. When we get the advantage, push forward. So remember, this is night market, so we can teleport to the top. So Jamster, you can try that. It's basically from when we're near the point, there's a point where you can teleport to the top of the point. Hmm. Yeah, because it's the current meta on this map. Because it's quite easy to do, and you get a big advantage from doing it. So just do it. Okay. Yes, yes. We have scrimmed this team before. Yes, this was the Doomfist team. So what are you guys gonna do against a Doomfist? This isn't a dive; it's a death ball Doomfist. Yep, yeah. So you gotta switch fast. In organized games, you gotta switch fast. It's not like ranked games. Mm. That was Tara. Okay. In the event if the enemy camps you guys at this main spawn door, you can always choose another one. But they're not camping you guys here, so you get free access. Yeah, remember play around the corners? Yep. Yep. So this is an alternative. The voice line of the Junkrat. Was it an automatic voice line or did you just press that? Wow, nice. Da 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 dun dum dum. Speed heroes. Touch. Charge. Yeah. Doomfist can run away. Ooh, he plays a Echo. Damn. Holy shit. All right, Rocker, you've been practicing your war riding. Well done. Phew. Ow. All right. When a team fight is lost that badly, it's probably best to just dive into the pond and don't let them get outcharged off your the stragglers. Like you want to, yeah, just suicide to prevent as little outcharge as you can from giving them as little outcharge as possible. Right. So it's like when instantly you guys lose three, everybody just dive in the pond and suicide. Okay. In this particular map, what do we call it? Is it tower or gardens? Okay. In gardens, right? Normally dive is pretty strong here. Because if you guys notice, the enemy team is running dive. They're running ball Winston. And you will never know which direction they're gonna come from you. Right? The ball can come from behind, Winston comes from the front, Echo comes from the side, and the whole team will be scattered and straggling. So the previous scrim, when I joined you guys as a Lucio player, we were playing dive on that particular map, and we did pretty well as well. Meep, no. Well done. But I do agree with Drew that we should have backed up a little bit because of the close response. Correct. I mean either way in the end end result worked. Both are correct. Yeah. But at that point in time my instinct was back up. But both are correct. I thought we were playing all five. No? We did? Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I guess so. They're hosting. Uh, I don't really care. Yep. So far we haven't practiced Nepal, which is the tiebreaker map. So for the tournament, I think all control maps are best of five, but in the event it goes to the tiebreaker Nepal, it's actually best of three. I heard it's best of five in the rules, I think, because the coaches were. Is it? It's changed. Yeah, the coaches were discussing it, so they're saying like control maps best of five. Yeah. Rocket as the brick. Rocket as the brick. You want to keep your armor packs for your DPS. I was saying Rocket for brick, right? You want to keep your armor packs for your DPS players, right? Because for the tanks, you're not going to do much healing anyway. But for the DPS, you're going to give them armor, which will help them carry. sleeping. Ouch. Feet keep jumping. Well, this sort of thing. Right. So they were pushing. So as a payload map, they were actually pushing the advantage. They were using the snowball, uh, thing that we did on Icowat. So before you guys could gather at 6, they were pushing aggressively and then split spawning you guys. By the way, do you guys want to choose the next map? Because then we can make a suggestion. Okay, so Rocker, for Lucio techniques, right? There is a technique where you can do where you use speed, you switch to speed just for jumping. Once you have finished your jump, you switch back to heels. So if you see high level Lucios, they'll keep switching, switching, switching. So the moment where they switch to speed is when they're doing a jump. Yeah. Then the rest of the time they are actually switching back to heels. Somebody disconnected? Oh, okay, Rocker disconnected. Okay. So since you guys are not running a dive com, you find that you're struggling to clear the ash on the high ground. So you could either ignore the ash and kill everybody that's on the ground, or you could path in a way that gives you access to the high ground to try and clear the high ground first before dropping down on payload. So it's up to you guys to choose. Correct. So the thing with anything that partners that pairs with a mercy, right? When you kill the DPS, you are actually baiting the mercy to come for a rest. For example, you kill the Farah, right? You're like, everybody is gonna camp the Farah's corpse and like, come on, Mercy, come on, rest. Once the Mercy comes in, kill the Mercy. Yeah. So the same thing with the same theory when you see a lot of high level play where they target the tanks. They are when you target the tanks and you get them low, right? You actually are baiting the Mercy to come down to kill the tanks. When the Mercy comes down, you kill the Mercy. But of course, it needs team coordination where you have a specific plan to damage the tanks to half. Mercy detaches from the fire to comes to the ground level, and everybody jumps the Mercy. Yeah, so in higher level play, this is why correct. In higher level play, Mercy is not viable in that sense because the coordinated teams when they play dive, the Mercy finds it hard to survive. But of course, in lower level plays like Gold, Plat, even Diamond, Mercy still able to survive and get a lot of value. Oh, but you're not in the game. Do we have to invite you or? Oh, okay, okay. Let's go. Oh, got fragged. Okay. So when our team is getting steamrolled, you can assume that the enemy team has a big ultimate advantage. So just like in CS:GO, when you play econ rounds, you save up your ultimates, you save your money, and you spend them all in one big round to try and get the advantage back by winning one big round. Okay. Whew, close. Not bad, not bad. Nice hero switch to Reaper though. But when you used the Deadeye, I didn't agree that you were dropping down because if you just stay on top and Deadeye, and you probably would have died. Yeah, I mean, if you were planning to switch, so okay. Yep, you wanted to switch. Yeah, yeah. At that point, correct, correct. When you're versus hit scan, for example, Widow and Ash, right? They outranges McCree. McCree loses value because you lose the 1v1. They can just stay further. They do the more damage than you, while McCree has a fourth. So McCree's value in versus long range hit scan players is just bad lah. So yeah, you're correct in wanting to switch off. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, if you're playing McCree, you gotta like have the close range fight. Like you gotta get up close to them before you can win the fight. If you're still staying far away, it's very difficult. You guys ready? No, I don't think we have a Genji in our hero pool. But Drew can play pretty much. He can play like 76 and stuff like that. Winston Diva, yeah, Winston Diva, Anna, yeah, long range dive. Yeah, it's more efficient. It's like rather than have a death ball, then you path through all the way through the stairs and you spend like 1 whole minute. Then you just jump down, they kite you guys, and you guys chase them merry-go-round again. Just waste time. Just go dive and just jump. Yeah, you can play basic Winston. Yeah, because you don't have to be like Overwatch level Winston. You don't have to be like Grandmaster Winston. You just need to know, okay, there's a Widow, I just need to dive them, and Miko will support you with a Diva, so it's just that you needed long range healers though. When you play dive, you needed like an Anna or a Mercy. At least a Mercy can follow you guys to heal you guys while you dive, and so on. Yeah, yeah. You guys can play. I know. Yeah. Both of you guys can play decent. So I've seen it. I think it's up. I just leave it to you for now because I don't really see any possible combination. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Good. Nice push. Nice push there, Alice. Nice push. So Jamster, you probably want to put a trap right beside you. You want to bait the Doom to go for you, and if your trap gets him, you win the fight. Feels bad, man. He didn't walk in your trap. Nice shatter. Big shatter. Good rally, good rally. Good hole, good hole. So in the second fight, their team was pretty disorganized because their win condition was Graph and the Space Jam thingy. That means Graph with the Doomfist out. But I think they mistimed it and they used like Graph and then like the Doomfist used out alone, didn't get anything and stuff like that. And once you killed the front line, the Doomfist by himself could not kill six. So even though he was like killing 2 to 3 in the back line, if you guys can stagger and kill 2 to 3 on the attacking team, the respawn advantage is just too much. What, mechanical keyboard? Oh, right, that's a good play. So when you guys are attacking or at a disadvantage here because they have the earlier respawns, you want to do dry pushes or what we call eco rounds in CS:GO, where you spend as little resource as possible. You want to snowball into one big resource advantage and push them in like one single big push. Drew is AFK, I think. Oh, he's moving now. Okay, since you guys have time, I would suggest you try doing a few more dry pushes, bait enemy out, build up your own, and go for another big push. All right, good call on a winnable. Yeah, that was a good call from Drew there. So he sensed the advantage that yeah, actually we can win this. So he called winnable, and you guys threw additional outs in. So that was good gameplay, good game sense there from Drew. Yep, yeah, you can finish that. I used it, so that's a good call. But you guys already had the defense, right? So you guys had defense for Skya, now attack for Skya. Mm. Oh, I think you already queued it up in the lobby settings because I did ask for Nepal. Nice call on the pressure. That's good. Yep. Drew, you didn't set up your turrets for like the defense of the point there. Yeah, I saw that you had three full turrets. Yeah. So generally for CoF maps, even for defensive maps, just think of where your turrets. Normally, if your turrets are on point, they get the most value because they are very distracted trying to take down your turrets, and it buys you more time to win the 1v1. Okay, they're probably going to have one more fight, so you want to use your remaining outs to try and defend the last fight. Rocker, you got killed early in the fight, is it? Oh, feels bad. Usually it's F. You want to set up your turrets? Yeah. Stun right click. Nice. Yep. Got it. Okay, Rocket, you want to stay safe. You are the win condition of the team. Your beat is the ultimate win condition. You want okay. Well done. So, Rocket, in that kind of instance, in that last push where they only had 10%, since you're the only one with beat, you are the win condition. So, you probably want to stay like further back, or sometimes if you're versus an EMP team, if you're running Sombra, you want even want to stay hidden. But they almost got you there because you got caught in the graph and stuff like that. But you probably shouldn't hang out with your Rhine at that point because like an unlucky pin from their enemy Rhine, or you can get caught in the graph and stuff like that, or you can get hacked by a Sombra and then yeah, then the win our win condition is gone. So yeah, you were right in holding onto the beat, just that in that particular scenario you gotta play a little bit more defensive because you're the key to winning. Nice, nice, nice. Close, close, close. Gemster, you can use that. I think the X button, right, to call for heals. Yeah, because you can just spam the. I mean, I bind it to X. I think most by default is X to call for heals. Yeah, just use it often. Especially as a DPS, you actually do need to be full health because if you're low, the DPS can't take a lot of risk, and if you're one hit away from dying, the your carry potential is very limited. Mm. Nice graph. Nice graph though. You predicted that they would turn the corner and you caught the whole team. I mean, you can just leave it. You can just leave the teleporter there. Oh, okay. Normally, May Ice Block, at the maximum, it lasts for 4 seconds. So while she's in Ice Block, you can just like count to four, and during that 4 seconds, you can just switch around and focus on other enemies. Unless she comes out of it early, where her heal potential will be less. Miko, for Zarya, certain techniques is like the right click where you right click on the ground for AoE damage. Generally, I would only use it. I mean, I do see that you do not use it often. So it's generally good where a lot of enemies are clumped up. For example, when they're caught in your graph, or when it's difficult to get very sneaky enemies. For example, like a Tracer or a Lucio that's jumping around. It's really very hard to keep your tracking on him. That is where if you right click on the area near them, like a Pharah, where you do the splash damage. So those are things that you can consider when doing the DPS, like track. If there's a lot of enemies nearby, you just right click them on the ground and then track again, right click, track. The splash damage is quite little, but still, when it is. Sorry? Oh no, I'm talking to Miko. Uh, so when enemies are caught in your graph, for example, you catch like six, then you can do like left click, right click, left click, right click, left click, right click. Yeah. Yes, yes. Lucio and sneaky enemies like Genji, Tracer, when it's difficult to keep tracking on them. Okay, good pushing. Some one person has to be on point. Generally, the Lucio should be the one pushing the payload. So this map is really good for May walls. Remember, we went through. We can either play Baptiste, we can play Diva to keep our Rhine alive through the walls. Yeah, if you want, you can switch. Because yeah, in organized play, you gotta switch fast. Man, it's asserting his Junkrat dominance. 27. 27. Yeah, but yeah, he's reasonable. He just said he has a very wide hero pool because I mean I could play most of those DPS heroes he's playing as well, and I'm go. Okay, so something that happened is while we were being trashed in that fight, we went very silent on game plans again. So it's very common because your morale is low. But actually, I feel like those are the moments where it's more important that the team has to step up and try and form like some kind of plan to try and win the next fight. Yeah, yeah, correct. Correct. So it's really common to stay very quiet. Like in ranked games as well, when you get rolled because your morale is just low. But that is when you gotta like try and step out and form more game plans. Because if not, it's just keep getting rolled. It's very hard to turn it around. Okay, Celis has a technique you can do more bunny hop with shield. So when you're jumping forward, right? You jump forward, you switch on your shield, and when you land, you swing a hammer. So that's where you can advance forward while staying somewhat safe with your shield up. At the same time, you have a timing window where you can land your hammer swings. So it takes a little bit of practice, but generally you bunny hop with the shield forward. Nice fast strike. Rocket, you probably want to throw your Harmony op, yeah, on the DPS. That's right. You're right. You're right. You generally throw the Harmony op on your DPS. 20 seconds a little bit ambitious. That was like 2 seconds. Oh, okay. So Celeste, this is another technique thing. Generally, you want to save your fire strike for when the window comes up. So, for example, if you're coordinating the window to be set up, you just save a fire strike. Once the window is up, fire strike through. Sometimes you can get like a single fire strike kill on a support that way because of the damage boost. Yeah, it's regularly used in pro play, and they combine it with Orisa Hulk to guarantee like there's a yeah more kills. Big shatter. Yeah, you probably want to use it at the start of fight. I have no idea. So graph, counter graph. Okay. Yeah, that's no. So okay. So Jamster, when you're stalling the payload, you can consider switching to May because I noticed that for your Junkrat you died like 4 times while stalling the payload because Junkrat is just isn't designed to survive on the payload. It's designed to spam damage from long range. But while you're like trying to stall the payload, it's good to switch to May. Drew was switching to Reaper, which is good. Reaper is really good at stalling payloads, fighting on point, and May is another hero. So even if you are not able to farm Blizzard, because you can use Ice Block, so you buy a little bit more time for your team to get on the payload. And also when you're running ball, May is really good because the ball like killed 3 of us. Focus the Ana. Yeah, correct. That's the problem with DevBot comp as well. When you're running a DevBot comp, like, at that point, there was a really small window when you guys were holding the point and you guys had a man advantage. So with that man advantage, if someone could have recognized it to push forward, push into the Ana, yeah, that was when. But it's a very small window. I mean, from first person perspective, it's really hard to see because I was watching from top down, so it was easier for me. So are we still playing one more map? You guys want to go? Okay, then just get it done. Let's play through it quickly. And Amico, for Graph, right? You will realize that Graph, even though it's a strong ultimate, sometimes there are times when you Graph and nothing happens, like the enemy doesn't die. Because I've noticed when I watch some of the old Apex replays, even back then when Goats, before Goats, right? When they had a Graph, they had to partner with Ana with a good anti-nade in order to get a confirmed kill on the enemy. Other than that, they had to partner with like other outs or if not, then maybe the biggest damage source in the middle of a graph would be Reinhardt that's nanoed because of the Reinhardt hammer swings. So something to note in the future when you want to know a graph, you want to look at what are the damage, what other allies beside you are going to do the most amount of damage in the graph. So they must be present beside you before you graph. So this is why graph is actually something that's it's a difficult ultimate to manage, difficult to use. So when you play ranked, it's actually pretty common. Like, oh, okay, you get a 6-man grab, like, we still lose the fight, because there wasn't another source of damage. Yes, it's less common to all. Even if everyone else is alive, if their shield tank is up, let's say their Reinhardt still has shield, and you grab, then you realize that nothing happens, and your team still loses the fight because your team doesn't have a source of damage that can out damage the shields, or doesn't have another CC out like Doomfist Punch, a Dragon, or a Blizzard. Right. Correct. Yep. So there's no other source of damage. Usually with Zara alone, and Drew, for Symmetra point A defense, right, I would have rather you set your turrets on the payload. Because if you notice, by setting it around the arch, it's good in rank play when the other opponents are very disorganized. But against an organized team, they just blow through your turrets right on the archway. So if you're setting it on the payload on defense in point A, while they're trying to focus down your team, your turrets does slow damage and cumulative damage. Yeah, Jeb, so you still have a habit of aiming for tanks with your reply. Okay, you guys are at a disadvantage. Okay. So when you see the Ana playing along with the enemy team, your win condition probably is to get the Ana first. Because if you're focusing the tanks, they will just get needed. Okay, Drew and Jester doing good in the back line. So you see that the Ana is playing really close to the enemy team. So this is when you have a chance to get the Ana in the first engagement. Yes, correct. But the tanks have to follow up with you because it as a breed. I mean, currently there's still some level of difference in the gameplay because you're gold and you're two ranks below, but you're doing good for a bronze player. Nice fight, nice fight. Right, so the graph alone made them use two outs, so it's a good trade. They use like a beat and they use blizzard. So silence for break generally you want to just stay beside your main tank and don't overextend. Stay beside your main tank and do damage when you can. Okay, spot for the Ana. Try and get the Ana first. Try and get the Ana first. Yes, yes. Right, the fight is a lot easier when you guys can get Ana first. So the tanks have to recognize it. I mean, the DPSs by instinct, we know that in rank play we keep going for the Ana, but tanks just you try. I mean, the instinct is to aim at big tick stuff. Just spread out. Oh no, there's a graph. Yeah, that's a good combo. Good try, good try. Yeah, you guys could probably touch. Yeah, you could probably touch. Nice, good touch. Nice, well done. Oh, that was a clutch TP from Drew there. Because he got pushed off the map, right? And you managed to TP back. And I was saying, Drew, for point A icon one defense, you will probably want to try setting up the turrets on the point instead of at the archway. Because yeah, the point is when the organized team is pushing your team, they're not looking behind them. So all of a sudden the turrets are like doing damage and doing slow damage behind them. So it buys your team more time. When you set it on the archway, it's more for rank play. When the enemy is like coming by one, and they're like staggering themselves. Hmm. But I think when you set up three turrets, the cooldown is quite slow, right? Like they will, yeah. Yeah, you could just put one, I guess. And then two probably spread out on the payload, like away from their line of sight. Okay, so remember this icon one attack. You probably just want to leave, in this case, the Anna on the payload, and the rest of you guys try to push forward to get more space. Yeah, so Drew, you gotta go with your team now. Yeah, because you're being separated. You're the main source of damage, you gotta stay with your Ryan. Gem says, well, you gotta stay with your Ryan. Because you guys are trying to get an advantage by a five-man team to stagger the enemy team. You guys still have the man advantage though. It's 3v2. Okay. Okay, notice the time bank difference now. We are still 4 minutes ahead. Earlier we managed to stop them here, and now with 4 minutes remaining, we managed to push it all the way to the same point that they push. Yeah. Yep. Notice we still have 4 minutes remaining, where earlier we managed to help them on full point. Yeah, you probably don't want to feed out charge, just stay safe or back off. You don't want to feed out charge to the Junkrat. Nice positioning. You guys want to push a fight because you have a man advantage. Yep. Nah, no chance to use out. There was a good anti-nade from the Anna. It hit like all five of you guys. Yeah, Anna is a tough hero to learn, but it's very fun. Yeah, you can probably use Nano on the Rhine in the next fight. And in this case, you can stick close to your team because if you're getting picked off behind, you can just stick close to your team so that you have a space to land your nade. Defensively, of course. Alright, good nade. So you want to use the Nano when you can. Yeah, high ground. He was up at the arch. Yeah. Yeah, you I guess you have one fight. Okay, same thing. You guys have one more fight. In the next fight, you probably want to focus down at Anna first. Because Anna was the one that's carrying so far. Good try, good try. Yep. But we had a big advantage when we almost we pushed it to the bridge with 4 minutes remaining. Because you guys managed to be aggro forward and stagger the enemy team. So for payload maps, this is the strength of being aggressive on the attack. Just leave one long range healer on the payload, for example, like the Anna, and the rest of the five man team can just snowball forward. Okay, good night. Um, yeah, actually, everything I wanted to say that's all because I wanted to uh the graph thing, yeah, I already talked to you about it because that is something quite subtle for graph. Like I've noticed it recently myself. Like graph by itself isn't a win condition. You gotta have something else. So I was watching the old Apex matches. That was when like Ru Jae-hong, Lunatic High, they were using anti-nades along with their graph in order to guarantee a win. So without the anti-nade, actually the graph by itself it would have won anything because back then May wasn't meta yet. Correct. Correct. But generally, yes, correct. So generally, the graph is meant for the Rhine to do damage and to build the Rhine shatter. But yeah, so that was the main thing because any other DPS like except when you have a Reaper, even a Junkrat doesn't do that much damage if there's an enemy Rhine shield that's blocking the damage. Yeah, I guess that's about it. You guys have a good night. See you guys next time. Bye. Okay, so we're gonna probably stop the stream for now. Yeah, I'm gonna get some lunch myself. Okay, so whoever's still hanging out, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.